Hello, everyone. It was another solid session once again for the stock market. It's what we like to see. NASDAQ was up 0.24% today. Volume was lower than the day before, but like I said, this is a QE world with a yield curve that's very, very bullish for the overall market. So as long as short-term yields are low, long-term yields are higher, and we have this QE environment that we know is going to last October, we don't need to mind the volume. So NYSE, NASDAQ, as you can see, all good today, all up on the session. Dow Jones Industrial Average up on the session. The most impressive of all the index was the Russell 2000 up 0.3%, 0.36%, closing near the high of the day. And the volume surge that I saw come in IWM at the end of the day, despite the overall low volume, was just an excellent way to see the market close. So overall, everything looks good. Before we get to the new longs tonight, I mean, things look really bullish out there. And something that happened today doesn't happen too often. Used to happen almost every day during uptrends before 2008 for me. But we had two brand new longs immediately power higher. Sun Power Corporation was a new long this morning, and it finished up the day 8%. It used to be normal. And not only that, SNSS was the other new long. That finished up 7.44%. Immediate follow through on heavy volume on both of our new longs. And then our other new long, thanks to a good limit order, I was able to get filled at 348, and it closed up at 351 after having kind of a wild day. Still looks good, but it doesn't look perfect. But still, at one point intraday, pull back to 340. So that turned out well, along with the up 7%, up 8% new long. On top of that, the only full sell that we had gapped up in the morning, preventing a pretty ugly loss. So it turned into a really small loss on our remaining position instead of a decent sized loss on our remaining position. So everything's working out. And then on top of that, look at all these right sides that are forming. G-Log, SGMA, that's an AAII shadow stock portfolio. They just added to it the past month. And I guess that news came out this weekend and it's moving up. So that one's moving. WLFC, as you can see, moving on the right side. Ctrip.com. There's just a whole bunch of stocks, AMBA, that are out there basing in a lot of different sectors. SFM off the bottom. We have the IPOs like CLDN moving. Stocks like Trip is building a nice little handle out there. We had Tesla Motors move off the 50-day moving average up too much today, or else that would have been a new long. We have Sun Edison breaking out to a new high. So overall, we have a lot of positive action out there and a lot of leading stocks. Red Hat, Standard Pacific Corporation Building Company, PanW making more new highs, UBNT making a right side of the base. So with all this starting to form out there, along with how our new longs acted today, it's pretty hard to fight this trend. So low volume rally, unloved rally, everybody worried about Iraq turning into a big mess. When has it never been a big mess? And all the Ukraine worries, this is the proverbial wall of worry that stocks like to rally on. And like I said, until we see an inverted yield curve or QE actually come to an end, why fucking fight the Fed? That's just stupid. And I'm not going to be stupid, and I'm not going to fight the Fed. So on that note, we do have some sells tonight. NGL, it's getting a little extended short term, as you can see here on the chart. It's way outside of its upper trend line pattern. So what we're going to do is go and take 20% profits on NGL. I know it's like only up 15%. That's a pretty big move for this oil and gas stock in less than a month. So we'll go and lock in 20% there. And then also we had two fails today. LYG, that's a failure. So we're going to cut our losses completely on that. And RAD is a complete failure now with the confirmation close below the 50-day moving average on above average volume with it closing near the low of day. So that money will be raised tonight to put into whatever new long signals come up tomorrow. The money raised from ARWR, the ENI, and LYG partial sells the session before. We got a good signal in FSLR. First Solar Incorporated is joining its brother that we just bought this morning that was up 8%, Sun Power, and putting in a pocket pivot point buy signal, retaking the 50-day moving average. This is a 5% signal. If I had the cash, to be honest with you, this is a 10%er. I'd put 10% in this signal right now if I had 10% cash. As it stands, cash on hand is under 6%, so 5% of the account capital goes into FSLR, and I do have one other new long position, very speculative stock, MVIS, the thing is, though, we had a pocket pivot point signal, extremely tight base. If this thing breaks out and move, I'm pretty sure it'll be up over 5 to 10% on the day, making it too risky to get. So based on a learning lesson from ARWR the year before, even though it was a pocket pivot point signal on the date of the move that we did not take, as we look back at it right here, you can see that that tight basing pattern then led to that big breakout, which became a little scary to chase the next day. So we're going to see if MVIS wants to do that today. But once again, we don't risk much if we're wrong. 194 is the first cut loss, and if you're really brave, you can go ahead and pull it back to this 187 ultimate low following that gap up session. But MVIS is going to be slightly under 1% of my total account capital because I'm way more interested in real stocks like FSLR instead of junk like that has the potential to be super nova and explosive, but just way more risky. So the market looks good overall. Keep riding the trend higher. Thank you.